From creepy flying heads to monsters that can turn people to stone, here are 8 more scary, mythical creatures. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to They Will Kill You. Hit the like button and request any topics you'd like to learn about in the comments section below. Number 8. Penanggalan. In Malaysian folklore, the Penanggalan is a demonic creature which feeds on infants and pregnant women. It travels at night as a detached female head, capable of flying around on its own. As the Penanggalan flies, searching for fresh victims, the stomach and entrails dangle below its head. They're sometimes depicted as moving tentacles. During the day, however, the demon is indistinguishable from ordinary people. After it returns from the nighttime hunt, it immerses its entrails in a vat of vinegar so that it can shrink and fit back into its body. In Malaysian legends, the Penanggalan was once a woman who obtained her beauty by mystical means that were dark or demonic in nature. In some versions, it said she made a pact with the devil to gain supernatural powers. She then broke a stipulation in the pact that said she wasn't supposed to eat meat for 40 days. In consequence, she was cursed to become a blood-sucking demon. The Penanggalan perches on the roofs of houses where women are in labor. She starts screeching when the child is born and extends a long, invisible tongue to feed on the blood of the infant or their mother. Those who the Penanggalan feeds upon contract a disease that's almost always fatal. Number 7. Minotaur. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur was a creature that had the head and tail of a bull and the body of a man. It's said that as he ascended to the throne of Crete, King Minos prayed to Poseidon and asked for a sign of his support. The sea god sent him a snow-white bull, which was to be sacrificed in his honor. However, Minos kept the bull because of its rare beauty and sacrificed another instead. As punishment, Poseidon made Minos' wife fall in love with the white bull. A master craftsman by the name of Daedalus built a wooden cow so that the queen could mate with the bull. This is how the monstrous Minotaur was born. The queen nursed her offspring, but it soon became too ferocious and hard to control. It was far stronger than a normal man and ate humans for sustenance. To appease Poseidon, every year, Minos would send 7 maidens and 7 young men to be devoured by the Minotaur. The monstrous creature was eventually slain by the Athenian hero THESEUS, who volunteered as a sacrifice. Before we continue with our list, it's time for our quiz question. Where was the Minotaur held? A. Dungeon. B. Palace. C. Labyrinth. D. Cage. Let us know what you think in the comments section below, and stay tuned to find out the right answer. Number 6. Nian. Several traditions of the Chinese New Year are said to have been inspired by the legend of the Nian. In fact, the character Nian actually means New Year. It's described as a beast larger than an elephant with numerous sharp teeth and 2 long horns. Some say it has the body of a dog, the head of a flat-faced lion, and prominent incisors. The Nian lives in the mountains or under the sea and comes out to feed at the beginning of the Chinese New Year. It preys on crops, animals, and villagers, mainly children. As terrifying of a creature as the Nian might be, it does have a few notable weaknesses. It fears fire, loud noises, and the color red. In the legend, several villagers discovered the Nian's weaknesses during one of his attacks. Consequently, they devised a plan to make sure the Nian would leave them alone. It involved wearing red robes, as well as putting red spring scrolls and lanterns on their windows and doors. They also would bang drums and throw firecrackers, hoping to intimidate the monster. The legend of the Nian has been cited as a potential source for the Chinese lion dance, as well as for the practice of wearing red and throwing firecrackers during the new year. Number 5. Qualapallic. The Qualapallic is a mythological creature which traces its origins in Inuit folklore. It's a human-like creature with green skin, long hair, and long, sharp fingernails. According to the legend, the Qualapallic lives in the sea and wears an amutik, which is a form of pouch used by Inuit parents to carry their children. Whenever children or babies disobey their parents and wander off alone, The qualipalic is said to emerge from the water to take them to the depths forever. It's possible to hear the qualipalic before they appear, as they make a distinctive humming sound. Number 4. Wyvern. Wyverns are often confused with dragons and are indistinguishable from them in many cultures. Both creatures have similar heads, wings, and serpentine bodies. The distinction is usually made when it comes to their limbs, as dragons are typically depicted with 4 and wyverns with 2. A popular emblem in heraldry, the wyvern is rarely described as fire-breathing. Unlike dragons, that doesn't mean they're less dangerous. Wyverns are massive creatures with a powerful bite and are capable of devouring you in a single bite. In modern depictions, they can breathe frost or poison. The wyvern's appearance is thought to have derived from the Dacian flag, encountered by Roman legions during the conquest of Dacia. It depicted a creature with a wolf-like head and the body of a serpent. Number 3. Basilisk. The basilisk is said to have been hatched by an old cockerel from the egg of a serpent, and its appearance is a mixture of the 2 species. Some describe it as the king of snakes and claim it was so venomous that it could break stones, burn up grass, and kill prey, including humans, with a single gaze. It has the legs and head of a cockerel, complete with a crown-shaped crest. The basilisk also has wings on its back and the body of a snake. According to the description given by Pliny the Elder in 79 AD, the basilisk doesn't slither, but instead walks in a bipedal manner. Its size varies depending on the source, but most claim to have been no more than 12 fingers long. All sources agree it was exceptionally deadly, emphasizing the power of its killer gaze. Renaissance Grand Master Leonardo da Vinci gave a description of the basilisk in his Bestiary. He gave an account of a basilisk encounter based on one previously written by Pliny. In it, a man on horseback had managed to kill a basilisk with his spear, and venom started pouring out. It was so incredibly toxic that not only the man, but also his horse died. So, where was the Minotaur kept? If you chose C, Labyrinth, then you were right. Daedalus built a complex and confusing structure of many turns and false exits, designed to hold the monster. The labyrinth was built near Minos' palace in Knossos, following advice he'd been given by the Oracle of Delphi. However, after its completion, Minos had Daedalus and his son Icarus imprisoned in the labyrinth. They escaped by building wax wings, attaching them to their bodies and leaping from the top. Icarus, however, didn't heed his father's warning and rose too close to the sun. The wax melted and Icarus fell to his death. The legend of Daedalus and Icarus is often cited as the origin for the expression of flying too close to the sun. Number 2. Cerberus. In Greek mythology, Cerberus is a terrifying 3-headed dog that guards the entrance to the underworld and keeps the dead from leaving. The monstrous creature is often referred to as the Hound of Hades. Hades was the god of the dead and the king of the underworld. Aside from being multi-headed, Cerberus is also described as having a serpent's tail and snakes protruding from various parts of his body. He only ate raw flesh, had eyes which flashed fire, and an acute sense of hearing. He was captured by the legendary hero Heracles in the last of his 12 labors. In fact, the main descriptions of Cerberus in mythology are associated with his capture by the hero. It was deemed an impossible task. Nevertheless, Heracles, guided by the gods, found an entrance to the underworld. In many versions of the myth, he asked Hades for Cerberus, and the god told him that he would only release his hound if Heracles mastered him without the use of any of his weapons. Heracles wore an impenetrable lion skin, which prevented him from being injured by the beast's deadly teeth. He battled Cerberus and eventually submitted him by squeezing his heads. Number 1. Medusa. Medusa is the best known of the 3 Gorgon sisters, monstrous creatures from Greek mythology. They're often depicted with wide mouths, large projecting teeth, big staring eyes, and venomous snakes instead of hair. They also had wings on their backs and a profound hatred for mankind. Unlike her sisters Steno and Euryale, Medusa wasn't immortal. She was ultimately slain by Perseus, a demigod who was the son of Zeus, and a mortal woman named Danae. It was no easy feat for the legendary hero, as Medusa was so terrifying that all those who gazed upon her face would turn to stone. Perseus was sent to kill Medusa by a king who wanted to marry his mother. The king hoped that Perseus would be killed by the bloodthirsty Gorgon, but the hero prevailed, aided by several gifts from the gods. Hermes, the messenger of the gods, gave him a pair of winged sandals, and Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths, gave him a powerful sword. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, gave him a mirrored shield. Perseus could thus avoid Medusa's petrifying stare by looking at her reflection in the shield. After he decapitated Medusa, a winged horse named Pegasus sprang from her body. Perseus used Medusa's severed head in further battles, as it maintained its ability to turn onlookers to stone. Thanks for watching. Which of these creatures do you think was the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments section below.